Pauline Nashaway Cosmic Skills Kev, you know what it is. Come up show. Hit me up on that IG, DJ Cosmic Kev. Also, Pauline Nine Philly on Instagram and Twitter. Man, listen. Shout out to my folks, you know, New York City, Philly Connect, Bag Fuel.
Yeah,
Esso Hynaken was good.
Yes, sir. We up in here.
Oh, man. We
time.
have the infamous. The guy that really put the bar, one of the guys that set the bar for the Come Up show, especially a few years back. We got E.Ness in the building.
What up, Philly?
When you take a picture, make sure you get my ugly side.
Viral. Monster. Viral.
Mr. Viral himself. Ness.
What's up, Unc?
I had to bring you up here. It's a lot of talk.
It is a lot of talk.
A lot of things we got to talk about, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the honors first to Bag Fuel because the talk started on there. So shout out to Esso, shout out to Hynaken. It started, you had E.Ness on Bag Fuel.
A couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. There was some questions, Q&A, that was being thrown around, and Ness applied some pressures, talked about some things, and I said, listen, I want to give my input of it, but pause. and plus my guy, so but it's just
I still say pause.
yeah. All right, pause, whatever. So anyway, so how did Ness even get on the show? Let's start from the beginning.
You want to go ahead? You go ahead.
This interview was supposed to happen probably pre-COVID.
Okay.
In an alternate reality.
Okay.
From an exaggerated level, and we just couldn't make it happen. And a few times when we went to go do Influencer Thursdays with you, he's like, yo, you in my town? You ain't called me? And Esso, he would call, and the interview never happened. Finally, Ness said, I'm coming to New York.
Okay.
And he showed up.
Got the coins together.
Yep.
Took the ride.
You said he got the coins?
Got the coins together.
You said, so the publisher checked
No, I don't
issue.
mean that.
Don't do that to him.
I wasn't saying that. Nah, not even though. But
yes.
So S.
Yeah, so we was just talking about it, and then that's just brought up. We talked about Philly, and I always have this thing. I really rock with Philly, so I brought up the Philly thing. Like New York people rock with Philly, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We all do that, and then Ness threw in the fact that he felt like that New York held Philly back, in a nutshell, rapping wise. And I said I didn't think so. I said I felt like Rockefeller put the light on Philly rappers because before that, there really wasn't no light, no outlet in Philly. When Hove came through, Rockefeller came through, they put the light on Beans. After they put the light on Beans, everything took off. Like me and you talked. Yeah. Nobody was rocking with the Roots outside of Philly. There wouldn't have been no Eve. All of these things came along with after Beans.
Hold on. Ain't Eve before Beans?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Where
Roots is before Beans.
Where Rough Riders?
Eve and Beans is kind of
I don't think Eve is
same
before
time.
Beans.
Okay. Oh, this is going to be great conversation.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
So Ness, why did you say? What made you say that? Like, yo, New York. I think you said New York always fronting on Philly. It held us back. Like, where did that energy come from?
Just to start off, people think I'm bitter because of my situation. I was a Philly artist. I was signed to Bad Boy Records. I didn't have the storybook ending, so a lot of people think I'm speaking from a bitter standpoint. But from my experiences, Philadelphia artists has always had to play New York politics when it comes to music. And I just elaborated on that. And being held back was just the artist in me saying, from an artistry standpoint. I don't know executive, but I just feel as artistry, New York artists has always had to deal and play by New York politics as far as musically is concerned. Because y'all held all the cards. All the labels was there. And if you ask Southern artists, they probably feel the same way. They eventually, whoever you were, if you were somebody and you gained some momentum, you had to come up top to get your situation.
What's up, Jeff?
Before I even comment,
But
what is your rebuttal to what he said?
hip-hop started in New York. We held hip-hop like a watermelon, like you carrying a watermelon around. it wasn't never personal to any other state. That was how we was thinking we were gonna make our money. Nobody was thinking outside the box that down south is gonna start rapping and the West Coast is they're gonna start rapping. My thing to the thing in Philly is this. Everybody else that felt that way went and did something about it. When New Orleans felt that way, Master P put his money behind himself and started his label and put his music out to the world. Cash Money and them, they followed. The West Coast did the same thing. Atlanta and them did the same thing on down. That was my thing with Ness. I said, well, if Philly really was upset about it, they got many gangsters that got money here. They can put their money together like how Puff got his money from the Peter Shoe guy, supposedly first to start Bad Boy. This is what everybody was doing. You know what I'm saying? You had Murder Inc. in cahoots with Supreme and them. That's what people was doing, what they had to do to get on. You got Juan, OG Juan, evidently in the back of Jay-Z. Or while Jay-Z was doing what he got to do, people got to get their back and they got to put their business together. And I say Philly got to start their own label where they don't think that they got to go outside, sign your own and do your own.
Okay.
How about this, though? Before Beans, who was the main rapper out of Philly? Will Smith and Black Thought? Is that really what we considered hip-hop?
Yeah, Schoolie D.
I mean, but like mainstream, like a rapper. If Beans is the origin of a rapper's rapper, if y'all not gonna claim
And Will Smith is more pop.
I understand. I'm not discrediting that. But after Will and Black Thought and the Roots, right? If we're gonna section them off as different calibers or brackets of rappers, technically Beans is the gateway for every other rapper. And I don't want to discredit Gilly. I don't want to discredit Schoolie D. You know what I mean?
Schoolie.
Yeah. But that's what it looks like to the world if we're gonna play that game.
Okay, so I'm great talk.
Go ahead.
Go for it, Kev. You know.
So I'm gonna.
This your town.
I'm gonna
You and
tell you.
Ness. This your
I'm
town.
gonna tell you. I'm a hip hop historian. Mm-hmm. I've been in this long time.
Absolutely.
Long time. Love you, long time. Long time. So when watching the interview with y'all and Ness,
Yeah.
Ness, I agreed with you on certain things and certain things I disagreed with you on. So I'm gonna break everything down.
Okay.
So when you said, I think you said, New York always fronting on Philly. I think you spoke about something about Hove. Hove didn't let people shine or the third, this, and the third. All right. So let me show you, I'm gonna give you your rights, where you're right on. But where you're right on is the timing. And where you're wrong is on the timing.
Timing, okay.
You're right about there was a little resistance from New York. And I'm gonna go from past up to now, I wouldn't say present, but to kind of recent. So let's start off with Steady B, Cool C, PS. Let's start off with those
Hilltop,
groups.
yep.
Okay, let's start off with Cool C. Let's start off with
Three
those
times
groups.
dope.
Hilltop. Okay, you had Lawrence Goodman. Word Up Records. You had all these labels. You had these labels that was coming out that they were getting played, and I'm kind of addressing because y'all. I'm looking at y'all as New York. I'm not saying those records didn't get played in New York, but they didn't get embraced in New York. Mm-hmm. Like there's a difference, and when I get finished, you'll see what I'm saying. I'm saying you're right. I'm saying you're right and wrong. I'm not saying that they held Philly back, but Philadelphia, you said, Hynaken, well, Philadelphia, they could have started their own label. No, we always had our own labels. Even before rap, when you got Philadelphia International
Philly
Records.
International.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is, Ness, is that the thing about it was when those labels were created, it was a little bit of resistance. Not saying that New York did not play Philadelphia artists at all, but it just was a difference. It was like, okay, shout out to Red Alert. And I'm speaking of the earlier people in the 80s. I'm not speaking of the Funk Master Flex or the other guys.
You're talking about Mr. Magic
Yeah,
and them.
Magic,
and my whole thing of it is there was still a little it's like I feel like New York never respected Philadelphia MCs. They respected the DJs.
Okay.
They respected the DJs. They didn't respect the MCs.
Talking about early on, right?
I'm talking. We're in the 80s now.
Yeah, when Jeff went up there and won the world.
Right
yeah.
now, when Jeff went up and won the world supremacy, when he did when he did what's that club that y'all had? I can't remember. It'll come to me. Him and Prince at this club, and people went crazy. They accepted Jeff. They accepted Fresh Will Smith because he had hit records, but they still never respected Philadelphia for his rapping. They did not. I'm sorry, like they did not.
We didn't rock with Will Smith like that until Summertime.
Keep it real. Keep it real.
Had that
Y'all
one.
did not.
He had that one record that was hot. What's the
Brand New Funk.
Brand New Funk.
Brand New Funk.
Right.
We liked that. But Summertime, he had to come back when he was almost dead with Summertime for us to be like, we rocking with Will Smith.
But my whole point of it is, Will Smith was a dope MC back then. But once again, and I'm saying this to you, Ness, because this might be a little bit before your time. I don't know. They still did not say, okay, Philly got spitters. So you're right in that. You're right for us where they kind of fronted, but it's the timing when you said, because you're saying about JC. Now, let me move a little bit more into the 90s. One of the hottest, greatest MCs that ever come out of Philly is Black Thought.
Black Thought.
Sure. Shout out
Hands
to
down,
Black Thought.
right?
No,
Black
hands
Thought.
down.
Now, you guys are from New York.
Yeah.
Black Thought.
We wasn't rocking
Crazy,
with Black Thought.
right?
It took a long
Y'all
time.
was not, listen, y'all was not fucking with the Roots.
The Roots at all.
No.
Y'all wasn't.
We don't disagree with that.
Like, and this is what I'm saying where I'm going to your right and wrongs and I want you to follow me.
Okay.
Because you in the statements you made, in some statements you made, you were right and wrong. Your timing was off.
Okay.
Okay, so when the Roots was out, they wasn't, y'all from New York. If I'm wrong, tell me.
We was not vibing with
They
the
wasn't,
Roots
they was.
at all. We didn't even understand it. The
Like,
band,
what is this?
the singing.
All right, so
Afro,
so the reason I
DJ.
said Beans and not the Roots, because the Roots was kind of categorized with the neo soul.
Yes, that's a
with
fact.
music and Bilal.
But hold on, pause.
Hold
It
on, so
wasn't
I
neo
said
soul
Beans,
yet.
Beans was the first Philadelphia street rapper that New York kind of embraced.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
We're going to get
That's
to
why I
that.
said Beanie Sigel.
We're going to get to that.
Okay,
We're going
all
to
right.
get to that.
But we wasn't at neo soul yet when the Roots came out. We wasn't on neo soul. Neo soul came later. The original Roots, when it was just them, it was just the Roots band. There was no neo soul. There was no Music Soul Child. No
Jill
Vivian
Scott.
Green.
And you're right.
None of
No
that.
Jill
And
Scott.
you're right. And you're right.
None of that. It was just the band and Black Thought's the rapper, and we was like this. We don't
Like,
even.
we don't get it.
We
What
don't
is
get
it?
it.
So what happened with the Roots? In my opinion, what happened with the Roots, and when they made the song "What We Do Is Wrong," and they kind of poked fun at Big, and Big was one of the main ones as being the king of New York at that time, campaigning. He really was a fan of Tyreek and the Roots and all that. So when they made that video, kind of mocking him, sitting in the chair and sitting in the bed with his wife in the back, he kind of felt some type of way. So I think that was the declinement of Philadelphia getting the recognition and the notoriety. But when I say Beans, it's because he was like the first Philadelphia rapper that the streets respected. The streets of New York.
Yeah, he came
And
like
it
a
just was
tornado.
all
We're going to
Yeah.
get to that. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
Okay.
So this is what I'm saying. And I'm talking to you guys as New York. So at that time, let's go from 80. Let's go from 84. Let's go from 84 to
95.
95.
Yeah.
There was no embracement for his
Absolutely
rappers from
not.
Philly. Not like that. Not saying that nobody in New York listened to.
Well, we didn't know them.
Like-
To
but
the world, it was only one rapper, Will Smith.
Okay, cool.
And that's not a disrespect to others. It was just the marketing.
Let me think about that.
All right,
Really,
so-
is that really the
to the
truth, Cal?
world.
Will
Yeah.
Smith,
To
that's
the-
all we had as a representation of
That's
Philly
not
was
all
Will
we had.
Smith?
No, that's
To
not
the
No,
world.
to them.
Yeah.
To them.
That's
Yeah.
dark.
Right.
That's dark.
But that's why I say that's why I'm saying you're right in some of the things you said. The timing is off, and I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
So in what he said, he's right. It was no embracement like that in those early years that I just named.
But can I
All
say
right.
something? We wasn't embracing nobody. We wasn't embracing nobody.
That's true.
That's a fact.
Nobody
We didn't
cared about
embrace
Master
nobody.
P.
And I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna skip forward. When Jay-Z went to sign Philly niggas,
Don't skip forward. Don't do that. We're gonna
No,
get to that.
no.
Don't do that. We're gonna get to that.
Like,
Okay, so
right
by the time
in a
I hit
way-
saying 84, I was real young. I
No,
was,
we all- yeah.
I was young. So
And I'm bringing
so
you the
was I.
history. But
to
go ahead.
me, the only hip hop that I grew up listening to was all New York based hip hop.
okay.
That dominated, to me, when I'm listening as a kid, at a young age, New York hip hop dominated the radio. So that we didn't really have too many options until Outkast and Goody Mob, and not even before that, Pimp C and UGK, because they had the South on Smash way before.
See, they wasn't in New York. We didn't
It's
give
true
a
that
damn
y'all
about
was
that.
dissing LA, Tim Dog was dissing
we didn't
Compton
give a
and
damn
all that. We
about
know y'all
Pimp
didn't,
C
but
and
for a
all that.
while, it was nothing but New York-based hip-hop that controlled the radio stations in these other
New York-
different markets.
I say New York hip hop controlled the world at one point.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, it would have
At
to.
one
We didn't
point.
have no
and
other look.
And I'm not discrediting that.
It would have to.
But listen, I'm not discrediting it. I'm just saying you're right. Once again, you're right. It's the timing you're off, but you're right with that, and we're gonna get to that. So you're saying that they weren't, because you from New York, you was around at that time, they weren't embracing other cities.
I mean, New York motherfuckers don't embrace motherfuckers too much now.
But everything came around because it was a time that New York y'all couldn't make a bucket, and then all the other regions was kind of.
I mean, that's subjective.
I'm saying.
Because listen,
When Mims
all the
came
oth-
out, when This Is Why It's Hot, he was like the only guy from Philly around that. I mean, only guy from up top really that had kind of a standout record.
but what you
everything else was top the charts was Southern based or Midwest based.
Okay, let me say this. This is New York's standpoint, right? Every other city is worried about who's the rapper. We worried about control. So although Philly was signed and Philly was doing their thing, that was our shit. That's Rockefeller, that's New York. That's our shit too.
I'm not even talking about Rockefeller. I
No,
ain't
but
get
I'm
to
just telling
Rockefeller yet.
I'm just telling him that.
Okay.
I'm just telling him the New York state of mind. This is what people don't understand. That's why we would embrace y'all. That's our shit. So while Philly's walking around, we got Oskino and Sparks, we got Beans, we got this. Who y'all signed to? Y'all signed to a New York
But
label.
you're not even letting me get to
I'm doing that, but I'm just.
You're
I
not
can't
letting me
explain
get to it.
Okay, go
You're
ahead.
not.
But you're not. I'm just trying to explain the outlook of how we think, because everybody outside of New York, we're not on. It's so many rappers there. People say New York isn't hot, right? And they say, oh, rappers. We still had Hov at that time. We still had Nas at that time. We still had Puff Daddy floating around at that time.
I ain't said that. I didn't say that.
I'm just saying, right now when niggas say that New York's not hot, we still got Cardi B. We still got Nicki Minaj. We still pumping. We still got Cash Cobain.
No, it's
coming,
lit.
Big
It's still
Swag.
lit. What I'm
so
saying
even
is-
when we quiet, we making noise.
The only hip hop that I've known was New York hip hop until the mid 90s when these other regions start having some burn. It was all New York based hip hop. I'm not mad. Y'all the larger market. I'm not mad at that. What I'm saying when it comes to Philadelphia artists, since we were so close, we really never, you know what I'm saying, got that favoritism by being a northeastern market.
But where would the favoritism?
Because of the similarities.
No, the favoritism.
And it's always been a rivalry from DJing to
Ness.
boxing to
Ness.
MCing to sound bombing. It's always been a rivalry with New York and Philly.
But in the music
Chicago.
business, right? This is where the separation comes from. This is it. It's not about who's the best rapper. This is the situation. So if somebody in Philly is gonna embrace this situation,
You keep saying that. Hold it.
What?
I just told you, you've had record companies in Philadelphia that was, I can't front.
but they weren't signing hardcore rap, is what he's
You're
saying,
trying to
right?
tell me Steady B wasn't hardcore at that time? You're trying to tell me Cool C wasn't hardcore at that time? And by the way, okay, you may say Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, you may say that Fresh Prince wasn't hardcore.
Cool
but
C
they
was
still-
not hardcore.
But
Who the Glamorous Life?
wait. That label, they were signed to a Philly label that went to Jive.
Okay.
For sure.
Like, let's not, so you can't say that nobody in Philadelphia was putting out money behind the artists or wasn't spending the cheese or started their own situation. There were. So
But that's not what I was saying. What I'm saying is he said favoritism. He spoke to a very key word of when you get the favoritism. I said, this is how you get favoritism.
Oh, okay.
This is it. I said, when Beans had his shot or when Ness is saying he didn't get the favoritism, right? This is how it comes. You see the man he was signed to, right? They was putting their money behind their own self too. So when they got to the label, that man was gonna make sure he was always gonna get that money put behind him. The problem is that the artists and the rappers don't understand the business. Beans was a type of nigga, this is what I'm looking from the outside. Y'all handle the business, I'm gonna go rap, right? If I was his manager, I'm trying to find out what's a discretionary fund? How are we gonna get on top? Where's our records going? How many people is really asking for Beans records? It's the same way with Cam and them said they had to go in the office. They left Damon in behind. They went to go talk to Leo and Kev. Because we got to embrace the business.
To me, it's a catch-22 because y'all say it's about the business, but then the same traits and characteristics y'all love us for is the same characteristics and traits that hinder us. Y'all saying we love Beans, he's so real, but then when it's time to come to him to move up and upgrade his position at the label, is he's too wild, he stays in trouble. So it's the same authenticity that we love him for is the same authenticity that we use against him when it's time to move up.
Because when you rise, Ness, you know why? Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But when you getting money and you moving up levels, you can't be the same. You can be a lion to get on. This is what Jimmy Iovine told me and taught me and I seen. You can be a lion to get on. That was me. I was a lion as a manager. Carry my burner, 2 burners, bulletproof vest, started out at Murder Inc. I know, nigga, I was there, like he says, right? But once I got to a certain point with managing Rock Wilder, I was still that same nigga. You know what they did? They slowly shut me out. Yo, nigga, you not this nigga here no more. You not this manager here no more. Now, motherfucker, you making $400,000. You can't act like you this nigga down here. And that's what I was doing. So I can see it in a rapper and saying, yo, bro, you gotta upgrade your business, bro. If you wanna get your shot, and you want to go to the next level, you have to mature. You can't get mad at, oh, I'm real. Yeah, you was real to get on, but it's about art now.
I think you're saying in the same sense of 50 Cent, when 50 was wilding out, when he was wilding out, going crazy.
Yeah.
He doing videos, he got the guns in the video, got the bucket hat on. But as 50 progressed in, you know what I mean, in his career, you didn't see 100,000 people with him. He changed his narrative. I think that's what.
That's what I'm saying. You got to when you got the opportunity and you got the people watching you and you really want to go to the next level. It's the same thing that we're doing. I tell him I gotta stop cursing on camera. I gotta stop saying the N-word. I
only said it like 80 times so far.
I forgot, but it's on the camera.
Don't care.
I gotta start.
It's not your show. You don't care.
My bad. He gonna bleep it out. But more work to do. But that's the point. My bad. I'll change that.
That's cool.
But that's the point that I'm even seeing it within myself. If I want more, if I want to be the top of the podcast, if I want my shot, Joe Buttons and them got the favoritism right now, right? If I want that shot, I gotta do bigger, better things to get that shot. I gotta talk better. I gotta look better. I gotta sound better. I gotta smell better. I gotta have better topics. I gotta stutter less because I want to go to the top.
But my thing is, we talking about because he looked older, but Beans was what, late 20s when he got on?
Early 20s, wasn't
Let's say 26.
No, I think he was younger than that.
I think he was younger than that.
Let's give him
I think he
25.
was younger than that.
That shit happened fast. By the time he was done, it was done already that fast. How long was his run for? 4 years?
Roughly four years.
So he's finished by the time he's 29.
30.
30. We know what it is to be 30. And he's getting millions of dollars. He has all these beautiful women coming to him. Before, what was he smashing out here?
Who knows?
300-pounders?
Why you say
I ain't
that?
gonna say that.
Why you say that?
You saying that?
That was shade.
He
That was
could've been-
shade.
No, this is real. But now he went from that to supermodels. Not to say he couldn't get it, but now then you want him to figure out life in what, 18 months?
Listen,
I think we never got the ball. We got on the court, we shot around, but we never got the ball and was able to take over the game. We never got the ball.
Well, maybe that's your fault.
Why?
Because I'm saying, just at one label, just at Rockefeller.
We had the label, but they wasn't hip-hop based
Just at
labels.
Just at Rockefeller
Yeah,
alone.
like
Just at
5 of them.
Rockefeller alone. You got Chris and Neef. You got Beans. You got Freeway. And you got Oskino and Sparks.
And you forgot Petey.
And you got Petey Crack. You got 6 Philly niggas at one label.
he said the N-word. Go ahead.
I mean, 6 Philly
He's
dudes
trying to get better.
at one label. There you go.
At the same time.
Okay.
There you go.
me step in.
We giving the ball's right there.
On the hottest
wait,
label.
time out. We're not gonna sign no New York cats.
Hold up.
We're not gonna go to Queens. We're not gonna go to Harlem. We're gonna go straight to Philly and sign 6 Philly
about
acts.
this.
No, Oskino and Sparks.
Let me
How
say
about
this.
Oskino and Sparks? That's 7.
Let me say this real quick.
7.
Jay-Z as a Brooklyn dude only had one Brooklyn dude.
Memphis
Bleak. Yo, I just thought about it, Ness. And we never killed them in Brooklyn for that.
No Queens dudes.
Yo, I really thought.
No Queens dudes. Where they at? He beefed with an uptown dude, Mace. He was beefing with Mace. Dame was beefing with Puff.
He was beefing with Cam while signed to the label.
He was beefing with Cam. He came right to Philly and said, yo.
And then guess what?
He came right to Philly and said,
He pulled, guess what he pulled? He pulled the Caesar move, like in the movie Planet of the Apes. He had to come to Philly to get his team to fight the war. Then when they got used up and it wasn't valuable no more, Lenny had sent him down a turnpike and everybody had to take the wall.
I think that's kind of cap, Ness, because
That's not cap.
Because listen, I
That's
know
not
one
cap.
of my best friends.
Beanie Sigel
was
and
in
State
Rock-
Property fought the war that Jay-Z did not want to fight.
Listen.
He had everybody coming from every angle. Jadakiss, DMX, 50 Cent. State Property was that
force.
that kept dudes
On the
off of
street
Jay's
too, yes.
assets.
Okay, listen. Nobody had to do
Hold it.
Okay,
I
go
gave
ahead.
y'all the floor.
Yeah, let's
All
go, Cat.
So I'm going to have a talk with you.
Okay.
You said that New York held Philly back, and you felt like Jay-Z did a disservice to Philly.
Not really.
Okay, hold.
Not really.
Okay, all right. Now, this is where I don't agree with you with. So let's keep it real. And I gotta give him his props. And nobody's gonna admit this. Before Jay-Z signed Beanie Sigel, nobody gave a fuck about Philly. I gotta keep it real. I'm keeping it real. Now, I gave you different examples. I gave you the Roots. I gave you early 80 artists. I gave you different people. Now, and me and you, we talking. Before Jay-Z signed Beanie Sigel, nobody gave a fuck. Now, at that time, because I was there. Like, nobody gonna tell me the different. You had Beanie Sigel, you had motherfucking Major Figures that was fucking snapping. You had Most Wanted.
Most Wanted.
Yeah.
You had so many crews that was hot as shit. The minute that Jay-Z signed Beanie Sigel, motherfuckers start coming out here.
Floodgates. Oh,
Floodgates.
Yeah.
Now, so when you say, well, New York, or you say Jay-Z, I can't agree with that because I'm just keeping it real. And it's just to his agreeance. Yo, be honest with you, that nigga could have signed anybody.
It's true.
He could have signed, let's keep it real. That nigga could have went out and signed, Jay-Z could have went to fucking Alaska and made, at that time, he had that power to make anybody hot.
That's true.
He could have made anybody hot. What he did, and let's be clear, Jay-Z's never done nothing for me. He's never flew me on a plane, none of that.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, but I mean, just me and you talking.
Yeah.
I just think your timing was wrong. No, I can't front. That nigga, he opened up the situation for Philly.
I mean,
he did.
let's give Sigel the credit.
Hold on, no. I'm not even
hold on.
done.
I
I'm not even done.
Yeah.
What he did when he brought Sigel on, Sigel was a fucking asset. Sigel did not, I'm going to say Sigel, I'm going to say Major Figures, I'm even going to say State Property. Before these artists, before Beanie Sigel, matter of fact, I'm going to put you the fuck in there. Before Beanie Sigel, E.Ness, State Property, Major Figures, Eve and all that. Dog, nobody was rapping like that.
Nobody.
How about this?
Hold on, I gotta finish this. You said before such and such, I didn't hear any Philadelphia artists. Nobody was rapping like that. The only people that was getting that look was the Roots, and some people, even in Philly, didn't want to embrace it. They felt, well, they not street enough. I thought them niggas was the hottest niggas out.
I did too. I still do.
You got certain people that wasn't looking at it like that. But before Sean Carter signed that nigga, which he should have, because like I
was
said,
an animal.
that nigga was an
Let
animal.
me tell
So
you
I'm just telling you, your timing was wrong.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, when you say, well, yeah, I would say early on, you're right, But dog, if it wasn't for Jay-Z, and I think Esso said this to me earlier, I still feel like people still do inquire about Philly still off of that.
Let me say this. When that Beanie Sigel was on that mixtape, The Truth, when the beat first hit, and in that voice, and when he came on, what he did to New York, at that moment, I'm telling you, New York dudes was like, I gotta be a Philly dude. Not in totality, but there was a big pocket. I'm gonna take
I see what you're saying.
I'm gonna say this. I don't want to disrespect you, but I think part of the reason why Puff gravitated towards you too is because he saw some of Sigel in you. Like that I think that opened him up to like, I seen this.
I can see the comparison.
You know,
but
and I'm not saying you was trying to be like Sigel.
Kev that's the first time I heard Beans was through Kev mixtape, the best of Beans.
That mixtape.
That's the first time I heard Beanie Sigel.
What was going through your mind?
Crazy. Before that, as I had did a year in jail prior to that. So the floodgates, he talking about that, I had missed that whole time being incarcerated. So I've seen the Philly floodgates unfold in front of me behind
Behind the wall.
So my first introduction to Beans and the new wave, the whole Philly community rap that was being shed light on was Cosmic Kev. Because that's being in jail, that's our only connection to the street is the radio.
Okay.
So what I want to say is we had the talent. They always invite us to the table, but we never can hold a seat of power or real progress. It seems like we get to that point and then we start digressing.
But why don't you think that it's your responsibility as Philly to seize that?
Not until Meek Mill or Uzi is where I've seen a Philadelphia artist surpass all of the bull crap that all the artists prior to them had to go through.
I think because both of them took the executive role a little bit more serious than other artists. I think, was it Oskino who said?
Yes, Oskino today.
I
sent him something saying, Oskino said, I was shot. In 2 years, I was on tour. He said, when Jay-Z met me, Jada told me don't take the deal. Jay could have gave me $5,000. He said, I stayed in New York because I didn't want to go back and get into trouble in Philly. He said, Jay, just give me a hotel. Jay got him a hotel, took him to Leo Cohen the next day, gave him a $750,000 deal and 6 figures and changed his whole life. Right there.
So bang. Not to cut you off, but and by no way this is Jay-Z slander. Jay-Z is the GOAT. I love what Jay-Z did and shed the light on Philly and signed a whole bunch of Philly artists. It definitely gave us light. What I'm saying is I'm talking about past that part. When we already established and the wars is fought, when the smoke clears, it's no real direction for them to boss up.
But let me tell you why, Ness. Even when Meek got signed, he got signed to Ross. Down south.
Yeah, but that was when they got it figured out. They had they had figured it out by then.
But the power's different. Look at Clue. You look at Desert Storm. I'm from Queens. I'm staying right home. I'm signing a dude from Brooklyn. Right here. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm staying here. I'm not going to go get a dude. Look at the dude from Queens. Remember the dude from Queens from Far Rock? I can't remember. He had one hit, and then he went and signed with Khaled. It didn't work for him.
The same thing Jay-Z and Puff did for Rick Ross to go get the label is the same thing he could have did for Beans. When it was Rick Ross's time, Jay-Z signed him to Def Jam and Puff walked Rick Ross through the doors to go get the label.
But what was state property then?
It's the same thing.
It's an imprint.
It's the same thing. He skipped over Philly and went. Not saying Rick Ross wasn't deserving of the opportunity. What I'm saying is, we always get looked over.
Maybe
and people go get the deals and stuff like that.
Maybe y'all wasn't ready to take the boss role.
We had all the energy.
No, you have the creative energy, not the business energy. I would not look at Ross as the same type of person as Beans. Ross was an older dude when he got on, and Ross was already understanding he had to be a businessman. The business behind Ross is what made him special.
He started off just like Beans, an artist on the label, slip and slide. Let's not forget. He worked his way up there. He dropped some good records. He went through the stuff with 50. He weathered the storm. He dropped some good records. And
but
When it was time, Puff walked him through the door to get the label.
It's not
I'm
that
telling
simple,
you, bro.
Ness.
It is that simple.
Ness, my best friend, my former best friend is CO, okay? CO wrote all the rhymes for them. I was in there. It wasn't that simple for Ross. Ross was around for a long time. Nobody cared about Ross. Ross made his own self hot. Ross made his own self hot and made people
Memphis
come to
Bleak
him.
is the one
Somebody
who pulled Jay-Z coattails. Is this Rick Ross? Is this rapper in Miami?
Y'all need somebody from Philly that wants to do business.
Economically, we're not set up. We're not set up like that.
I'm not talking about economically. This is mental. This is a mental thing, right? I've been a manager my whole life. I didn't come
We're a
from
smaller market than New York is, Esso. We're never going to have that financial structure to run a major label from Philadelphia.
That's not true.
You're going to say that. Now I got to ask you this. You're saying that Lawrence Goodman and Dana Goodman didn't have the financial money to make that situation right? Hold up.
Okay.
You're saying, let's go to the president. Meek Mill has plenty of money.
For sure.
Meek Mill is considered a boss. If Meek Mill wants to do that, he can do that. So we can't say we don't have it, we do have it. It's all depending on how they want to do it. When those people want to do that. I'm not, and that's not shading anybody.
That's real.
But you got to understand it. I mean, I think the last time I talked to Meek, he was saying he was going to do these big things.
No, for
and
sure.
he's probably going to do them.
For sure.
You know what I mean? We can't keep saying, well, we don't have it. We got it. It all depends when the people want to do
Drama,
it.
look at Drama and Uzi. But Drama, I know he's from Philly because I know Drama, but when we think of Drama, we think of Atlanta.
Yeah,
and economically, New Orleans is in the dumper. They're not better off than Philly, and they're a music powerhouse.
They have money.
They have
cash money, and they put their money. Look at Rockefeller alone. It's 2 uptown dudes and a Brooklyn dude. Look how they broke up. The uptown dude don't mess with the other uptown dude and the Brooklyn dudes together. They're coming together for
Texas
business.
is a big estate. Labels like J Prince and Rap A Lot have been able to survive and thrive throughout the Depression, all that stuff. We always got the hand-me-downs. I remember growing up, we always got the hand-me-downs from New York. Philly radio doesn't impact New York radio the way New York radio impacts Philadelphia radio and the rest of the world.
I agree. Once again, it's timing.
To me.
No, wait, because I'm in radio.
Let me ask you a question, because you're on radio. If you break a record, what's the chances of the top 3 DJs on WBLS getting behind you if you're not connected in some type of brotherhood, DJ pool, whatever y'all got going on? What's the chances of them getting behind this record 110% outside of your relationship and connections?
Hold on. You can't say BLS, or BLS is old school.
Well, you know I'm trying to say.
97.
No shade on BLS.
So I'm 20 years ago. I'm sorry.
I get you. So look, this is my whole point. I get your point. Now, Meek Mill, when Meek Mill was on fire, before he was signed to Ross, I used to have a conference call with all of the top DJs around the country. Flex, Funkmaster Flex, shout out to him. He orchestrated that call. We used to talk about what records was hot in each region. That's how you knew who was hot. They don't do that call no more. But to answer your question, yeah, probably now it's a little bit trying. I don't think.
And to be completely honest, I've been driving to New York and heard them get behind one of the records you've broke. I've heard them get behind Cicero's Swag It Out. I'm actually in New York and they're playing it on Hot 97. So it's hope for us. I just need to see a little bit more of it, because compared to New York, we're the closest thing. Like, we have the same similarities.
But Philly
style, fashion, dress, slang.
I gotta say this before I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Philly has to take ownership for itself. We in New York, we not letting Meek Mill get away with that shit. No fucking way. He's signing somebody from this motherfucker, and he's starting a label. You got to do something, bro. You're not getting away from us.
Every New York artist does that?
No, I said if we needed it, we don't have to.
Of Meek's
We
caliber.
don't have to. If somebody of Meek's caliber, we're not gonna sit around and say, what did 50 do? He bought his boy. Tony Yayo came. Banks came. Then he went down south and got another dude.
Young Buck
What are you talking about?
came West Coast.
We're not letting you out the city. You don't even want to come out the city without somebody else from our town. You have to. So when this comes on, and niggas gonna get mad at me.
Though.
People gonna get mad at me.
Got
Nick signed
steppers.
people from Philly
I need to hear
before.
Core. I need to hear OT7.
Signing people
I
from
need to
Philly.
hear.
Wait,
I need to
know
hear
he signed-
Skrilla.
Yo, listen.
We got
I know he
steppers.
signed people from Philly, but Kev, you know the difference. Where was the budget at? Where was they at? Signing niggas and putting a budget behind them. See, these niggas need to learn more about the business. Because if they knew about the real business, now who talk,
So
who
you
caught
wait,
this nigga coattails?
you think
I'm
I ain't
talking
been
about-
you think I've been in this business 20 years and don't know the business?
I'm talking about, no, listen, you know, wait, hold on. But come on, yo, listen, you know how many niggas I know that, you know how many niggas I know that just sign deals, producers that don't know their points, don't know what they're doing, don't know why this occurs,
That's the
don't
nature of
know
the game.
about a discretionary fund.
To get young, hungry artists
people-
that don't know the
but
nature of the
listen,
business.
but-
That's why they say it's a
but
young
this
man's
is why
game.
y'all-
They don't want older,
but this-
more veteran, more established artists
So
like myself
the
because we
veteran
know.
Mill need to sign them, get the real budget, talk to the real guy.
That's not the nature of the
No,
music business.
It's
not.
That is the nature. Talk to
It's
the
to
real.
sign young, hungry, uneducated talent straight out the ghetto, put a contract in
Hey,
front of
yo.
their face, maximize on their talent, and then it's on with the next.
What about being?
That's the nature of the.
We're not talking about the nature of the business. See, we're moving the goalposts. We're talking about Philly. And why Philly's not doing what they supposed to do, and I said Philly can do it for themselves. Because if Philly has Meek Mill, the top artist, you got Uzi Vert, you got what's my man? You got Drama. You got these people from Philly. Philly got to pull themselves together.
Still got to sign with a New York.
You
based
have no,
label.
listen. They are not New York labels. They're labels in California. You signing distribution.
Capital?
Look.
That's it.
Look.
Nah,
You,
they got more.
the Universal. You signing. What you looking for? You looking for distribution. You don't have to have. You don't have
And
to have.
that's why New York has always been a larger
you don't
market.
have
Y'all
to-
got more money. You said it was the
this is
moolah,
not-
right?
Yo, bro, you missing the whole
Compare the
point.
Yankees to the Phillies.
Yo, bro.
The Yankees are like
bro.
the
Y'all are
Yankees,
missing-
the
y'all are missing
Cowboys,
the
and the
whole
Lakers
point.
are all in the same.
Y'all are missing-
Y'all got
y'all
the
are missing
money,
the
bro.
whole point.
Y'all got the money. Y'all
are missing-
always gonna overshadow
Hey, yo,
us. Y'all got the bread.
How much money you think Drama got?
We
for
don't have the
Uzi Vert?
resources and finances
How much
to compete
money?
with y'all on no level.
How much money? How much money do you think Drama got for Uzi Vert? And we're talking about money. This is the business side. And I'm gonna say this, Kev. The money comes from the distributor. You take that money and you flip that cash. That's what you do. You sign the niggas. So you can be a little nigga from St. Louis and you get a hot record. I know a girl right now, and I'm not gonna say her name up here.
Okay.
And Kev knows.
We gonna do
From
the numbers.
Jersey.
We gonna do the numbers.
From South Jersey. She done signed 2 deals already. Got dropped off one
Yep.
deal. All right, 600,000. Dropped off one deal, and you know this. And popped up. Got another deal for 800 racks.
And they wiped the 600 off.
Wiped the 600 out. She's not from New York. She's from here. She signed to Jersey niggas. She signed to a Cleveland dude. But you know what a Cleveland dude and a Jersey dude? They work at the label. So they going to get the money. They got cool with Julie Greenwald. You got to work your thing. When Shorty got dropped, you got the white lady to make the call for you. Yo, make the call, boo-boo. Yo,
I wanna
sign
say
her
this.
over there. We got more money.
ahead,
Now we
Hynaken.
take that
I
money
just
and we
wanna say
sign
this.
people.
I've said this before. In the hood, a 16-year-old understands the drug game. He understands who the plug is. He understands how to count the bricks. He understands business structure. He understands how to pay back. If he can understand that at 16, he passes his math class based on what he understands from the drug game, he could take a little bit of the time to understand the music business.
They don't want to.
I want to say this, because we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, thank you, Cosmic
Ness,
Kevin
the only
Ness.
thing I will say is this. You got a lot of
tough.
points, but to kind of tag off what he said, Cash Money Records did that by themselves and Master P. They and
Eazy-E.
I think economically, I think at that time they weren't economically as big as we were. I think it's all about the structure. But they came from a small town, and Cash Money ended up being one of the greatest hip hop labels, one of ever.
I heard about Cash Money before I heard about Black Thought when they had the Bout It on VHS. I'm like, what is this?
About it is that's no limit.
Master P. Oh, pardon me, I mixed them up. But yeah,
No
To
limit.
me, they
limit.
special cases, but I get your
Yeah,
analogy.
he's an
To me,
anomaly,
they special
but
cases.
I'm not discrediting
Yeah,
you
yeah.
or you.
fault.
It's different points for everything we're talking about. But I think I do think ultimately and this is all artists, they got to look at more of the business of it. You got to look at the business. People and I'm gonna say this to you. So people, it's always been a mockery and a joke about you walked and got some cheesecake.
Right.
Let me explain something to you. Let's all be real. If you're a young artist and you trying to get that deal, and you're going to do what you got to do, whether it's walking for cheesecake or taking $70,000 or $20,000 because you're trying to get out.
You're trying to get out. Yeah.
You're not thinking of business. But now, but this is what I'm saying. But now we're in a phase now, I think, that even when you're hungry, you still got to pay more attention to the business. Because back then, people just wanted to be on. They just wanted to get signed. They didn't care about the business. And I understand what you're saying, but I think now in the times we're living in now, I think the business comes first, even before the talent.
I mean, but let's be fair. Ness is literally one of the first people we've ever seen to see what it looks like to get a record deal. If you think about it, there's no footage of watching an artist come up and work and get this shit.
That's true.
So, and then that now destroys a whole generation.
And I'm
There's no business talk.
But hip hop is picky, and hip hop wasn't ready to see that part of artist
But
development.
what I'm saying, what they
Yeah,
saw
y'all
from
took a
you,
chance.
what they saw from you now is the blueprint. Had it been what Esso said, let me sit down and show you how to really do this business.
They don't want to do that.
Things is different
But I'm
now,
going to say this, and I'm going to leave on this note.
Okay.
People talking about the cheesecake. What was he supposed to do? Not fight for his career?
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's what I
agree.
said.
I don't agree with Puff Daddy doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Puffy, me and him had talked about that when he was out a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? But what was people like Ness supposed to do? Just give up his career? If he would have did that, 9.9 times out of 10, he wouldn't be sitting here right now.
And they would have clowned him.
Yeah, they would
Nigga,
tell me,
go
yeah,
get
they
your
tell me.
G. You risked your
You
whole
sit
life.
here with us.
You got
You
too
could've
much
been up there,
pride,
yeah.
and you could
I
have went
would've
and got
walked
your
Ness.
stuff.
Yeah, you tripping.
Listen, I'm
You
saying
bugging.
it in hindsight.
Yeah.
I would have gone.
By the way, did you get a piece of the cheesecake?
Nah.
Yo, we out of Kev. You know I gotta get back to New York. Yo,
Come
thank
on,
you for
show,
having
man.
us,
Hey,
Kev.
Let's do this again.
Definitely, Ness. I want to, we need some bars.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Like,
Ooh, sweet.
because you got to do that. You got to out.
And yo, Kev, you know what New York people call Philly?
Pressure.
Home of the spitters.
And that's a fact.
Yo, didn't I tell you people in New York, but we say we out here. Come up so
Did he do it?
Oh man, look, hey, Bag Fuel, thank you guys.
Thank you
coming
for
out.
having
I
us.
definitely had to have y'all on this because I know it
Thank
started.
you.
That's where it started from, and I'm
Thank
like,
you.
yo, I definitely gotta talk to Ness and want y'all a part of it and give my opinion.
This makes us feel good because that means our content is going other places. It's going to the radio waves now. So it only makes us look even better that our topics on our show is thought of enough to bring us on
They're
the
going
radio.
crazy on Twitter with it.
Yeah, they're going
They
crazy.
just posted one video today. It did 70,000.
Ness, are you okay?
Yeah.
Ness,
Listen, he been
you on
on
the
the
ropes,
listen,
Ness?
Just
Are you
drop
on the ropes, Ness? Are
Just
you
drop
on the
a
ropes?
record and these freestyles and ain't nobody gonna remember. It's all promotion. Good
I
or
caught a
bad.
backlash, so I want to say before we end this out, I repeat, love Jay-Z. He the GOAT. Leave me alone, New York. Signing off.
Yo, what's that station, y'all?
Power 99, y'all.
9-9.